Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about Nova versus Foster and a few other upcoming matches coming soon. So just tune in. Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. We're going to jump right on in there. So Friday night, Nova versus Foster took place. Ended up being a decision win for Foster. And in the end of the fight, they let both guys talk. And pretty much Nova was humble in defeat. And he said he felt like the edge for Foster, the reason why he won is because he got dropped, because Nova was dropped in the fight, which would have gave him the edge. He said had he not went down, he felt that it would have been a draw. And it was definitely a back and forth fight, give and take, kind of those type of fights where, Foster catches him with a 3 or 4 punch combination, and then Nova returns with 2 or 3 punches back, kind of like that back and forth where it's like a give and take, round after round. So pretty much it's always going to be that tight. In the end, as far as making a decision on who you felt won with the judges or whatnot, and then what's in your personal opinion, what do you feel? Do you feel like Foster edged it? I think he did enough to win in a tight fight. But if they run it back, I can see it being a decent fight, and it will probably be another close match like the first one. Also, there's a lot of talk in the airways with Canelo Alvarez. Such a big name. People will call him one of the many faces of boxing. And what's his next move? We heard the Bud Crawford name circulating, but people say Bud is too small. But what fans, or at least I want to see as a fan, is Canelo versus David Benavidez. So who out here thinks that will actually come into fruition in the next 1 or 2 fights of Canelo? It seems like for some reason, Canelo, when you bring up David Benavidez, he's just not a priority to him. But Benavidez has been a mandatory. So I wonder what the WBC will do. Well, we pretty much know what they'll do. We see what they did in the heavyweight division with the Tyson Fury situation, where Ngannou was able to fight him before Undisputed took place. So we know the WBC is really not going to enforce any type of action or anything to make sure that the Canelo and Benavidez fight happens very soon. But hey, wishful thinking. If Canelo versus Benavidez does happen, how do you see it going? What is your prediction? I would pick David Benavidez. Got the height, the reach, power. He has a lot of the qualities that could bother Canelo. So it would definitely be another banger, and it would be great if it happened in 2024 in this year. Around the corner in March, we have Zheng versus Parker fighting on the same card as Joshua versus Ngannou. So what do you feel about Zilly Zheng? He's a southpaw. He's a big dude of Asian descent. Parker from Samoan. And we saw 2 different approaches from Parker in his last few fights. When he got defeated and knocked out by Joe Joyce, we saw Parker going toe-to-toe round after round, showing he had a lot of grit and grind in it. Until, he just got worn down, I think, with the much bigger Joyce trying to go toe-to-toe. He should have picked his shots more and moved more. We know Parker has the athleticism, and he could be a mover as well. So after the loss with Joe Joyce, he fought one or two more fights in between, and then he fought his other big fight on the day of reckoning with Deontay Wilder. We saw domination from Parker. At least that's what I saw. I don't know your opinion, but Parker did definitely outpoint Wilder and hit him with some good shots and enough to ring his bell. He didn't drop him, but it was enough to wake up his senses. And we didn't really see Wilder very active in that fight. He didn't throw a lot of punches. He looked like the Wilder we saw versus Luis Ortiz in that rematch, where he just trying to line him up and land that one shot, and he just could not connect that one shot. So therefore, Parker was able to negate his right hand and pick his shots and, came off with the victory. Now, what version of Joseph Parker do you think we will see versus Zheng in March? Will we see a Parker going toe-to-toe like Joe Joyce, rolling the dice and taking a risk like that? Or will we see a more methodical version of Parker who did like he did against Wilder, where he's using his speed, his reflexes, and he's picking shots and his angles and going in and out? I think that's the best Parker. It's the Parker who mixes it up. He's brawling some, but he's also being scientific and picking his shots versus trying to go toe-to-toe with somebody who's bigger than him. I think it's in his best interest to be methodical and pick his shots and, find his range. Once he finds his range, unload on Zheng and step back out. Use your angles, use your speed, your reflexes against the bigger Zheng, who's going to be slower. And then hopefully, if you get beyond the mid rounds, you can slowly try to drown him, work his body very well, and then if he gasses out, press on the gas if you're Joseph Parker. So how do you see that playing out? Zheng versus Parker. Who wins and how? Comment in the comment sections below. And then for the main event, we have Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. I know how a lot of people feel that are boxing purists like myself. We're like, we'd rather see AJ fight Zheng or rematch Parker or even a trilogy with Andy Ruiz. And obviously, we want to see AJ versus Wilder. But we're going to see Ngannou. And I don't feel like Ngannou gets enough credit. I mean, we're so fixated on the fact that he's an MMA guy stepping into what these boxers have been doing. But if you look at it for what it is, look at the Ngannou versus Fury, how he dropped Fury, how he made Fury retreat and get on his back foot and went on points. Because initially in that fight, Fury was more of the Croc-style Stewart approach. He was going toe-to-toe with Ngannou. But once he saw how strong Ngannou was and how good his chin resistance was, and he was dropped in an exchange, that's when he started to backpedal and use his Ben Davison style on the back foot, throwing the jab, the 1-2, the 2 and the 3s, and using his footwork to his advantage to win on points. So I'm saying that to say, Ngannou made a very good account of himself for his first fight debut. But then you have somebody like Otto Wallen, who's an actual boxer, and he gets beat by Fury after cutting his eye, he gets dominated pretty much the rest of the fight. And I would say that the Ngannou fight was even closer of a fight than what Otto Wallen brought to the table versus Fury. So I don't see why people don't take Ngannou as a serious threat. Even with AJ, AJ does have power. But we can't just sit here and act like it doesn't go both ways, if we're not being biased. Ngannou packs a punch and is said to be the hardest hitter in combat sports. So he definitely is going to be a dangerous opponent for AJ. AJ does have experience because he's fought the likes of Usyk, who beat him twice. Andy Ruiz fought twice. He wins one and lost one. He beat Wallen, a few other guys. So I think with the experience of the Klitschko, he's going to have to be the AJ that fought Klitschko and Dillian White in order to beat Ngannou. But I think he wants to grind him down and not be overboard. I don't think he wants to get overzealous like he did in Ruiz 1. Try to go for the knockout and get clipped, and then it changes the whole trajectory of that fight. So he wants to be smart, pick his shots, go to the body a lot of Ngannou, wrap him up when he needs to. He's going to be, I think, better with his combinations. His uppercut is crazy. And see if he can cause harm to Ngannou, because Ngannou is very, very tough. He's from an MMA background, so the man is strong. He's like 270 pounds, all muscle. He's going to probably outweigh AJ by about 25 to 35 pounds. So it's going to be something to see. I mean, a lot of people are saying AJ by knockout, but then some saying AJ could be the one to be knocked out because Ngannou does have a one-hitter quitter. So let me know what you think in the comments with Ngannou versus AJ. How does that play out? Please comment below. Let me know. And until next time, I'll see you on Rewalk Boxing Podcast. Peace.